Good morning, guys. Welcome to the 3D market commentary for today, Thursday, the 28th of April. The disclaimers are in the top left-hand corner, so please read them, even if you need to pause the video to do so. Now, different places that you can go for support. You've got a couple of email addresses, if I can find my mouse, a couple of email addresses down here, Becky@tradewithufos.com and support@tradewithufos.com. So different email addresses you can contact us on for questions. There's also this link here, which is tradewithufos.com/Becky. So that will bring you to this page. From here, you can get apps and courses and coaching. You can book one-on-one coaching if you'd like. You can see our live session notes. This is a very new feature, so it's empty yet, but we will soon start to be building this out. So putting all of the trades that we put on, you'll be able to see them here. You can again get different apps and platforms, and you can come down, ask questions, or read answers to previous questions that might help you answer your own. So lots of different places you can go, lots of different support and resources available for you. So the 3D market commentary, what is it? Now we send an email out every day, Monday to Friday, that looks like this, and it has information on major world markets. So we'll look at the charts as well. We call it a 3D market commentary or a 3D approach because we look at three major elements per market. The first one is market climate. Now, market climate is essentially what's the likely upcoming market direction. Is it likely to go up, down, or nowhere? We use an app to help us. It's called AutoClimate. It's a free app on most platforms you can get it on. And AutoClimate essentially shows us where those probabilities lie. What's the more likely upcoming direction? So a thick red dot tells us probability down. A thick blue dot tells us probability up. And a thin dot of either colour tells us probability in neither direction. So we'll look at that per market. Then we'll look at buy and sell UFOs. UFOs stands for unfilled orders and shows us where buyers and sellers are. We want to know where the buyers and sellers are because sellers are likely to push price down, buyers are likely to push price up. So we can see these little green UFOs, different coloured greens, but green UFOs that show us where buyers are. We have these little red UFOs, again, slightly different colours, but both red UFOs show us where the sellers are. So we'll look at those per market as well. And then we will look at market volatility, so how quickly we expect the markets to move. So look at each of these elements, each of these three elements per market, starting with the S&P 500, which is the top 500 US stocks. And we're looking at a daily chart, a daily time frame. So for the S&P 500, thick red dot, probability down. We also have sellers here between 4303.5 to 4195.25. So again, selling pressure down. We've got a little ways to go before we hit the buyers at 3983.75 to 3933.75. So overall, probability down, climate telling us probability is down, sellers above us pushing down at the moment, and a little ways to go before we hit the buyers. Overall, more likely, probability down. In terms of volatility, we would expect movement up or down in 1 year by 29.44%. So in a day, that's up or down of around 78 points. In a week, up or down of around 173 points. And in a month, up or down of around 360 points. So that's the S&P 500. Now the next market is crude oil. So let's load this and squidge it so we can see what we need to see. There we go. Now just to highlight before we show you crude oil, the different courses that we offer. We do courses in futures, stocks, forex, backtesting, trading plans and psychology. Now most of the courses come with a 3-month complimentary access to the apps. AutoClimate, which is this one here, is a free app on most platforms that you would find it on. Auto UFOs, which is the one that shows us the buyers and sellers, that's a paid for monthly subscription, and it depends which platform you use as to what the price of that is per month. Now you can subscribe directly to the Auto UFOs. You don't have to use them as part of a course. You don't have to get them as part of a course. You can just subscribe directly to use them. But most of the time, it's cheaper and easier to get them as part of a course than it would be to simply just use them for 3 months. So check that out, see what works best for you. Okay, so coming back to crude oil, thin dot there tells us not enough probability either way. This market isn't really sure what it's doing. Now we do have sellers up here between 115.54 to 108.68. We've got buyers further away from us down at 80.47 to 77.83. Unlikely that either of these buyers or sellers will affect us today. They're too far away from current price. So overall, nothing really to do here on crude oil on a daily chart at least. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of around 53%. So in a day, that's 3.44 points up or down. In a week, 7.56 points up or down. And in a month, 15.75 points either up or down. So that's crude oil. The next market is gold. So let's have a look at gold. Again, squidge it so we can see what we need to see. So just before we go into gold, just to highlight here about the coaching and support. I already showed you at the start of the video where you can go for coaching and support. That's most of it is for free. We also have an all asset advanced coaching, which is a small monthly fee to access live trading videos and a private room. So check that out if that's of interest to you. So gold, we have a thick red dot, probability downwards. We have sellers close by between 1912.2 to 1896.3. And we've got buyers further away down at 1815.8 to 1788.5. So overall, probability to the downside, more likely for gold at the moment. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of around 19%. So in a day, that's 22 points. In a week, 50 points. And in a month, 104 points, either up or down. So that's gold. Okay. The next market is the US dollar. So let's load this. Okay, let's squidge this down so we can see. So the US dollar has a thick blue dot, probability to the upside. Now, something to bear in mind is that we have gone more than 3 times longer to the upside than we usually would. So we are overextended to the upside. We still have probability up, but just bear in mind that it is overextended. Now we have buyers reasonably far away now, between 100.675 to 99.81. No sellers that we can see. Overall, still slight probability to the upside for the US dollar. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year of 10.32%. So in a day, 0.67 points. In a week, 1.48 points. And in a month, 3.08 points, either up or down. So that's the US dollar. Last but not least is bakkt Bitcoin. Now just to highlight, as we load back Bitcoin, just to highlight on here, our platform called TOP. TOP stands for Predictive Options Planner. Now, even if you're not an options trader, it's a very useful platform to use because it integrates all of our apps. If you are an options trader, even more helpful because it has specific and exclusive options apps as well. So check that out, see what works best for you. Okay, bakkt Bitcoin, thick red dot, probability down. We have sellers up here between 47,317.5 to 43,345. We have buyers down here at 32,820 to 31,615. We're in between both of them, unlikely that we'll hit either stacks of buyers or sellers today. So the probability to the downside is coming from the climate here. In terms of volatility, we'd expect movement up or down in 1 year on Bitcoin of around 64%. So in a day, that's up or down of around 1,600 points. In a week,
would be 3,500 points roughly up or down, and in a month around 7,400 points up or down. So that's bakkt Bitcoin. So that's the last of our markets. For each of our markets, we've looked at climate, where we have probabilities, up, down, or nowhere, using AutoClimate to figure that out. We've looked at buy and sell UFOs, where do we have buyers and where do we have sellers that could push price up or down, respectively. And we've looked at volatility, how far we expect these markets to move within given periods of time, or how quickly we expect them to move. So, last thing to look at is our weekly economic calendar. We get this from fxstreet.com, and we filter by high impact news to see which scheduled news reports are likely to create volatility in the markets that we trade. So today being Thursday, we had some news that came out already this morning, 2 a.m. Eastern time, that could have affected the Japanese yen or Japanese markets. We will have news coming out round about now, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, that could affect the US dollar or US markets. And again, for the Japanese yen or Japanese markets, from 11 a.m. Eastern time, it's a national holiday by the looks of it in Japan. So bear that in mind if you trade those markets. Again, any questions, you can email me, you can email support, or you can go to tradewithufos.com/Becky. You've got a bunch of resources, bunch of ways to find answers to your questions here. You can book one-on-one coaching, you can get apps, courses, and coaching. And if you scroll right to the bottom, you'll see that there are questions and answers here where you may find the answer to your question is already here, or you can log in for free and ask a question there yourself. Okay, so I will love you and leave you. Have a great trading day, guys, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.